In this final installment of my three-part look at Mack's latest offering, I continue my exploration of Mack's new state-of-the-art Super Econodyne powertrain package. I'm freelance trucking journalist Jim Park, somewhere on the 401 between Milton and Woodstock, Ontario. Dave McKenna, Mack's director of powertrain sales, decided to join me for the day so he'd have a chance to explain the thinking that went into this remarkable bit of technology. I wanted to try the truck on a couple of the hills on Highway 401 between Milton and Woodstock. They aren't great long grades, but more like what you'd see on most any interstate, modest rolling grades that often force drivers to drop a gear during the climb. You know the kind, just enough to be annoying. The traffic was pretty heavy that day, so the best we managed was one run up the hill just west of Oxford Road 3 on Highway 401, about midway between Cambridge and Woodstock. Pulling straight and level on Highway 401 as we cruised at an efficient 1160 RPM at 105 kilometers per hour. As dense as the traffic was, my speed varied from about 90 kilometers to 105 kilometers at various times, but the engine remained in top gear. The low end of that speed range put the engine RPM down as low as 1,050 a few times, but the M-Drive transmission did not make a downshift. Here's what happened when we hit the hill. So we're at 62 now, and we're just starting to pull the hill. RPM just dropped to 60 miles an hour, and we're just below 1,100. Yep. Digging in here for the hard pull. And let's see how far down she'll go. 60 miles an hour. There we go.
Shifted into 11th.
Yep. The M-Drive downshifted to 11th gear at 1,050 RPM. We were close to the crest of the hill, but the transmission didn't know that. Dave says if the transmission was in manual mode, I might have feathered the throttle a little bit, letting it drift down to maybe 900 RPM. I probably would have been able to crest the hill without a downshift, and I would have saved even more fuel. Point proven. Mack's Super Econodyne is set up to keep cruise engine speed low to reduce fuel consumption, but running that low doesn't compromise the drivability of the engine. It's still got tons of torque below the cruise RPM to help pull it over those rolling hills that you'll find all over the country. We can talk all day long about the advantages of better fuel economy and reduced greenhouse gas emissions, but for the drivers who won't see any direct benefit from those improvements, there's still one more angle. It makes the cab nice and quiet, and that makes it a much nicer place to work.
Well, what I like about it is it tends to keep the cab noise down, keeps the vibration down, and it's a little bit more comfortable at a lower RPM than it is at a higher RPM. And I find that the conventional engines and the conventional transmissions sometimes they take a lot out of you.
Well, that's a lot of technology to make a cab more comfortable, but heck, if it comes on top of all the other benefits, who's to say no? In a nutshell, that's Mack's Super Econodyne powertrain package. It blends Mack's legendary low-end grunt with the absolutely spectacular M-Drive transmission and a drivetrain optimized for the engine's power curves. What drivers and owners will get is a truck very well suited for typical North American truckload carrier operations. It won't work for everybody, but it wasn't designed to. Super Econodyne is a case of optimizing a truck for a specific application, and it works very well. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to join me behind the wheel for parts 1 and 2 of this three-part look at Mack's latest release, Super Econodyne. For today's Trucking's Ultimate Test Drive series, I'm freelance trucking journalist Jim Park. Drive safe and keep your revs down.